They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
And we're here. That's right.
Thank you, Dana Rowe, who wrote that. It's got Logs. I always get his name right, Logsden. And Liz Calloway singing it. Hi, guys. We got Freestyle Love Supreme tonight. But before we get to those sasters and sastresses, we got to tell you where we are. This is Freestyle. No, it's not. It's Stars in the House. That's what it's called. Stars in the House.
Okay.
What is Stars in the House, James? Hey, the lighting is good for literally 5. It's never.
It won't last.
I know it's not gonna last.
It won't last.
We always wind up looking like literally the Crypt Keeper. All right. Anyway, go. What is Stars in the House?
Stars in the House. It's our daily live stream that we've been doing since mid-March for the Actors Fund. And you know what? And I've got.
Oh, wait, Shockwave. I love that you gave me your phone number, but you're confident enough to not give me your area code. Like, I definitely know. Surely you know where I live. We're
going to assume it's 212.
Okay. Anyway, we are?
I don't know.
Is this cell phone?
That's my point. Some people have cell phones that are 212.
I'm sleeping.
We've got the Actors Fund send us so many amazing comments. And, we talk about how it's for everyone in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Across the board, across the country.
Whatever you do, like you could be a front of house manager, a box office person, a publicist, a caterer, a wig person, anything you do in the arts.
You could have a Freestyle Love Supreme Academy.
Yeah. That's a great point. You could be working there, and I know a lot of people out of work. That's a really great point.
It's true.
Anyone there can go for help from the Actors Fund. Although they're actually working right now. They have a virtual.
But I mean, there are like, dance and singing academies all around the country
that are really suffering. They can't go virtual.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that today with them. But the Actors Fund, in addition to giving much needed funds, also has like seminars. They actually, in the midst of all this,
I keep forgetting to mention that
they're like doing this job search seminar. And I just wanted to read a thank you because it's just a really cool thing. I'm going to read it from my computer here. I usually print these out. Thank you so much for the job search seminar today. I'm extremely grateful for all that I'm learning from the Actors Fund and Career Center classes. Each one of the career counselors are outstanding and inspire me to bring forth my best. I'm feeling confident about my job search. Well, that's pretty amazing in these times to feeling confident about my job search in COVID times. That's a bravo to the Actors Fund, because I've been learning from the Actors Fund about cutting edge standards, resources, technologies, and ideas. Amazing. I've also been impressed by the abundance of talented and skilled participants in our classes. I have learned a lot on the chat from participants who have shared job postings, job and career ideas, and other specific and general info. I even arranged a very helpful informational interview through that chat. Wow, amazing. Thank you for your time, your hard work, and all that you're doing for the artist community. It's another reason why we love the Actors Fund.
And by the way, someone just asked, what about agency manager? Yeah, literally.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't said that, but it's true. I mean,
anyone in the arts, any aspect. And the other thing I want to say, how funny is this? Someone just wrote, you need to do a show with the Berkshire Theater Group Gospel Cast.
Well,
literally.
It's funny that you say that. So hold on, before we go to that, because it actually will affect our show tomorrow and Friday. We are up to Raise for the Actors Fund in terms of donations.
Oh my God. What did I just
$418,200.
Wait, by the way, the whole screen just disappeared because I put my stupid hand down.
Seth Rudetsky.
Sorry. Wait, how much are we up to?
Talking about right on the climax. $418,200.
Donate. You're going to get a receipt back. Forward that receipt to donations@starsinthehouse.com, and then I'm going to send it to one of these clowns that don't even have area codes, and they're going to turn it into a sassy spot. Anthony said the area code is 1-900, which is hilarious. All right, they will turn it into some sassafras. So,
which Wayne Brady, for those of you who saw the show back in May, Wayne Brady set that bar high.
So anyway, you forward it, and by the way, also for you millennials, you can text your fund, or whatever they're called, Gen Z. You text Fund 2020 to 56512, and it's the same thing. Forward a donation to donations@starsnows.com. Now, speaking of Godspell, so there's a production of Godspell happening at the Berkshire Theater Festival, and we checked it out. It's pure COVID, like masks. Basically, everyone's in a separate cement room.
There's actually a great article about it in the New York Times today. I teared up reading it and their experience in rehearsals. I think it's the first equity sanctioned production. out, in COVID times.
Yeah, and that's why Kate Shinnell's going to be there, the president of Equity.
So we are not, for that reason, it's our first time basically out of the house since mid-March. And after double checking, triple checking, we're going to be gone with Dr. Lapook, many phone calls. We are not going to be here tomorrow or Friday, but we will be leaving the show in capable hands.
Well, hold on. We're not going to be here because we're going to see Godspell.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be doing a live stream from the red carpet with the cast. Crazy 10-foot distance.
And it's going to be on Stars in the House.
Beekeeper outfit. Yeah, it'll be on Stars in the House, starting at like 6:30.
No, it's from 5:30 to 6:30 on Friday. It'll be on our website if it's not on there now. But we will have people in our place. Thursday will be Seth's co-host on SiriusXM.
Christine Petty with the whole cast of Forbidden Broadway. That's what I was recording. This is God, It's High. Anyway, so we're going to have the cast of Forbidden Broadway performing. Gerard Alessandrini, who created it. Fred Barton, the original music director. So many great performers. And then on Friday,
Brenda Braxton is back guest hosting. And it's her birthday. There you go.
You owe me a Coke. So that's all the updates. Guys, it was a great show. We will see you Monday.
I love this. Look, April Montgomery. I'm so excited for my first Stars in the House episode. Hello from Las Vegas.
Hi, April.
You're
love
it.
Like it.
So Seth, we have and midway through the show, since that is her first time, and maybe there's some other first timers, we do have a medical update halfway through the show because we did start this in the midst of a pandemic, and Dr. John Lapook, the chief medical correspondent from CBS News, is our chief medical correspondent. He'll be here halfway through the show.
And he comes every day to give you like cutting edge updates. So that'll happen. And he totally freestyles his updates. It's incredible. Wow. What? Okay, so please welcome.
Here, I'm gonna give you the list here.
I don't know if I know how to pronounce anybody's name. I always go into a panic when I have to introduce somebody.
That's part of the fun.
Well, I can introduce this because fellow Jew. Arthur Lewis. This I got. Hey, Arthur.
Hi.
I love that. I don't like that your mug is sort of covered by your name. Can you move your mug? Thank you. A little bit more that way. Thank you so much. Okay.
Not Jewish, by the way, Seth.
Arthur, there's no way with a name like Arthur you're not related to my mishpucha, as we say. You're not?
I'm not Jewish.
Okay, Arthur, it's been a great show, and I appreciate talking to you, but peace out. Okay, next up, what? Arthur, I can't believe it. I totally thought, I was like, oh my God, he's one of me. All right, it's all good. Who the hell is next? Okay, wait. Oh, Kaila
Mullady. Hey, Kaila.
Hi, friends. How are today?
Good.
Very good. Yes. You know Arthur, of course. And then here's Aneesa Folds. Hi, Aneesa.
Hi. How's it going?
Good.
It's all good in the hood. And then we have Andrew, a.k.a. Jelly Donut, which rhymes with, what was it in the movie? Go Nuts? No.
Go Nuts.
I can't remember. It was all part of the documentary. Hi, Jelly Donut.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, throw up. I don't know. Go nuts. Who knows? I don't remember what happened anytime before right now.
And then San Francisco, I think, right? We have the fabulous Anthony. Aren't you in San Francisco? Am I right?
I'm in San Francisco. Hi,
Anthony. You're in San Francisco. You're also on a giant twister board, and I appreciate that.
I'm just waiting for you to get here, Seth.
Right foot red. Okay, and finally,
no, not finally. We have two more.
Oh my God, you're right. Oh my God, we have Tarik Davis here. Hi, Tarik.
What up, y'all?
So fun. You guys all came tonight. So exciting. And 1-900 himself.
Chaotic.
Yes.
My phone number was 8675309 for everybody.
309.
Just got the joke.
That's good.
I wasn't even born then, so I don't even know that reference. Anywho,
you got us.
Shockwave Root.
Yeah, right.
So, guys, one of the main reasons you guys are here is we just want to make sure everyone watches the documentary on Hulu, which is all about Freestyle Love Supreme. I think everyone is featured in. Wait, Kaila, I don't know. Are you? Wait, I can't remember if you're in it. Kaila, are you in it?
I get like a little taste at the end.
Okay, good. Yeah, I remember like the Broadway. But it's so great. It's the whole history of Freestyle Love Supreme. It's amazing. And also, we want to talk about the virtual classes, right?
Absolutely. We want to talk about the Academy.
Actually, you know what? I should just put up a banner.
Guess what? I already made one.
You did?
With the website. Keep going down.
Okay.
Down. There you go.
Oh, so yes. If people want to learn how to be amazing like them, it's just freestylelovesupreme.com/academy.
Absolutely.
Yes. Right. Point down. Very good, guys. Brady Bunch.
So
it's creepy.
Maybe we should do a little bit, start from the beginning for those who have not seen the Hulu documentary. Anthony, I think that would be maybe with you. What's
yeah, okay.
Cream for the few people who are watching who
Oh,
don't.
I was up on Mulholland Drive, and this blonde woman with hair flying by. Wait, no, that's how LA Law started.
Wow.
Sorry, Corbin Burns. What?
Really, I was listening, going, God, that story sounds so familiar. That's hilarious, amazing comeback to our show.
Good, Anthony. Very good.
Got it.
Just so glad we could get the cast from LA Law back. No, so yeah, we started this thing like I guess 17 years ago now, and it's been this basement to Broadway story, as all of them are.
Nice.
And we, I started helping to build out this little theater in the drama bookshop, and one of the very first projects we ever worked on was something called In the Heights. And during all the breaks, I would kind of barge in and be like, Lynn, we got to freestyle now. And Lynn was like, yeah, cool, let's freestyle. And then Tommy was like, you got to leave now because we have to work. And then I eventually was like, this is a show. Like we should try and do this in front of people. And we did, and it was like all over the place. And we would bring our friends up, and Arthur was in the audience one night, and we were just like, Arthur knows how to play the piano. Get up here. And Arthur was like, don't know. Why would I do that? But we somehow just like convinced these people who are incredibly talented to join in on this journey. And then Shockwave came and saw our show as we were doing it early, and was like, hey, I kind of am doing this thing where I add like vocal percussion, and I'm an improviser. And then we were like, come to a rehearsal, and he came to the rehearsal, and then we're like, oh, we actually have a show now. Like, somebody asked me this the other day, like, when did I realize that like this was a show? It was when Shockwave got into the group and was like, oh, you can have beats that react to the moment, that create a whole world and inform scenes. And I was like, yeah, that's actually something.
Well, what were you doing before for beatboxing?
We didn't have a beatboxer. We had live beats. So, and by that I mean we had a DJ who often got stuck in Queens. So yeah. We had like a DJ sampling beats and kind of like responding to maybe never was that. It was Deliverance. And so they would just like play beats based off of pre-programmed stuff that they had. Sometimes they'd bring a beat board in, but it just was canned, and it felt like we should have been more polished than we were. Maybe that's what it is. The beatboxing let us make more mistakes, especially me. I'm just not good at it, but I love doing it.
Wait a minute, Arthur. So you were just literally just in the audience because you're a supportive friend?
I'm actually not sure if that happened.
Oh,
we yeah. So Lynn and Arthur went to
Arthur.
together.
Well,
yeah.
let's have a real
My
version.
recollection is that Lynn and I, as Anthony was saying, was that Lynn and I went to elementary school and high school together, and we were working on some stuff, some music. And what I remember is that he was in my apartment. He was like, come do this show. And I was like, that sounds like something I don't want to do. That part's true. I don't want to do that. And he was like, just shut up and come. Like, I will bring my Casio keyboard. You have to do nothing but show up. I was like, oh, all right. And so he finally convinced me, and they like strung his Casio across like 2 desk chairs, and they dragged me up. But I think I did show up with the intention of performing.
Okay.
But your job was, they would be like, just give us some smooth jazz, and you would come up with some sassafras chords. That's what you had to do.
Yeah, I think it was so much more like freewheeling back then. Like, I think in that first show, Lynn broke into C.V. Vaughn, this like Hebrew song that we had learned in elementary school, and I was like, oh, I know this. So it was just like we were just all over the place.
Wait, a Hebrew song you knew, and yet, Arthur, you still deny.
Yeah. I said more ham, Arthur Lewis.
A lot of things.
It's all good in the hood.
It's all good in the hood. Lynn convinced Arthur to come, but he said he might not play. So that's why I was like, oh, Arthur. And that to me was like, he may or may not do this thing. We have this piano, and we'll see if Arthur wants to come and do it or not.
Sounds like
so. That's why I just and that still happens to this day with Arthur.
Good. That's what keeps it fresh. So, Kaila, how did you get involved? And I love that you have the most professional looking mic out of anyone.
Doesn't she?
Thank you. It's just an old foam. It's just for looks. It's a prop.
Okay.
Yeah, I've known Shockwave for a while just because of the beatboxing world. You know, it's a very close community. And I've heard the legends and the myth of FLS, but I never got to really like see them do their magic. But I was doing some hip hop improv stuff. And then the summer before we started our Broadway run, I was in Vancouver performing and I was sitting by myself looking at a seagull eating a salmon sandwich as you do in Vancouver. And Shockwave calls me like so nonchalantly, like, "Hey, what's up? Good to hear from you. What are you doing this fall? You doing anything?" And I was like, "I don't know, you know, I could be doing this or that." And he's like, "Cool. You want to come to a Broadway show?" And I was just like, all right, yeah, we're doing it. And he just hung up the phone and I continued to eat the salmon sandwich, but somehow it tasted different. The sky felt different. The seagull was dead looking me in the eye. There was something happening there, but everything changed. It was a big shock and a big surprise.
Kaila, where did you grow up?
Long Island, the 631, you know, Long Island, not too far from New York City.
516.
Right. I won't hold it against you.
Oh, please, no, I got the hell out when I was 17. Peace out.
So when did you first hear about FLS then?
I mean, I heard about FLS, right? I was in a hip hop improv group called North Coast for a long time. And I feel like everybody like heard about FLS, you know what I mean? And until I really saw the magic being made, it's just amazing. And it's so cool to be a part of this. And it's so cool to see improv, especially in hip hop improv, go to the Broadway stage, and to get to be a part of that was really special.
Yeah. Okay, so Aneesa, did you come from the Academy? I can't remember. Where did you come from? Oh, yeah, great. Okay, so what's your amazing story?
Yeah, I was a Freestyle Supreme fan first. Was a big fan of In the Heights. Saw that a bunch of times. And through that, I found out about FLS. And so I would go to the shows and be like, wait, this is everything that I've ever wanted to do in one. And just was so excited that this thing was happening. And then I found out about the Academy, signed up for it, forgot about it, didn't think I would get in, got an email that I got in. And then I went, and Shockwave was my teacher.
Oh.
And he was like, okay, cool, you could do this. And then him and Andrew were doing a performance at National Sawdust, and they needed someone to fill in last minute. So they hit me up, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And I was really nervous. No one told me what was happening because I come from a musical theater background with the scripts and structure, but it wasn't that at all. And I was like, can you at least tell me what we have to do? And then we just got on stage, and it was magic, and it was incredible. And then a month later, I got an email from Chelsea telling me to hold a few dates to audition for the show. And it was a whole thing where I had to take a 4 a.m. train because I was doing a show at North Shore Music Theater, and had to figure out how to get there. Ended up taking a flight back, almost missed the show because I had to be there for a final dress, and walked right on stage for my entrance. Didn't miss anything, because the gods from Once on This Island heard my prayers, and it was all fine. And then I was on Broadway doing this thing with people that I looked up to, full circle and crazy.
Wait, what show was it at North Shore?
I was doing Freaky Friday.
I meant, wait a minute. Huh? The gods from Once on This Island got you into Freaky Friday?
No, I was doing a show. That was a reference for you. The gods heard my prayers.
Don't you mean Once Upon a Time on This Island?
Anthony used to say that on stage every single night until Lynn was like, "You mean Once on This Island?"
So embarrassing. Okay, good. Freaky Friday, that shocked me. Okay, Jelly Donut. First of all, how'd you get your name?
Oh, I've had it for a long time. My mom called me Jelly Donut when I was a fat baby. It was just a little, cuddly, cute name. Yeah, my brother was Pumpkin Pie because he had red hair, and I was really chubby. So it just kind of stuck. It felt about as gangster as I am. So that worked. My rap name. Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in rural Maine. So China is the name of the town I grew up in. Maine is this fascinating place with Mexico, Norway, Paris, Egypt, and no one from any of those places living in those towns. But I grew up in China, and I went to Wesleyan and actually met Anthony. And a bunch of FLS went to Wesleyan, Tommy and Lynn and Bill. But I think Anthony was dating a girl on my Frisbee team, which is another pretty gangster sentence. And then we reconnected when I was in San Francisco and he was there, and we started another group that was similar to FLS called The Freeze, where Davi Dig and James Eigelhart joined us. And so there's a lot of overlapping circles. And then when I moved to New York, I kind of officially folded in to FLS. Yeah.
Well, wait, I'm just confused because I thought FLS happened for a long time. Then you went to San Fran. So how did the San Fran and Jelly Donut thing happen?
Seth, I was dating a Frisbee player. I don't have to explain myself to you.
Valid point.
No, so Freestyle Supreme was kind of always going. And then when I moved to San Francisco, which was back in 2006, I started up another group in 2007 with Jelly and Davi Diggs called The Freeze, which was kind of like a sister group to Freestyle Love Supreme. And in some ways, like a feeder system into Freestyle Love Supreme as well. So go and
then
talk to your own mishpuka. Yeah. And then, I still live in San Francisco. I've been living out here for 14 years. I just always, whenever we had shows, I would go back and forth.
You came back for the shows. Okay, that's right in the docu. Okay, Tarik, how did you get involved?
That's a good question. Well, I was, I was on a Frisbee team at Wesleyan. And
that's all it takes.
One thing led to another. No. I got my entry into freestyle is a little weird. I auditioned, and then I had a callback, and then right after the callback, I was told I got to do a bunch of shows at the Kennedy Center with these guys.
Whoa!
So it was
this is no lie. So may I brag just for a second about Tarik? So Tardis Hardaway got the call like 3 days before we had to be in DC. Comes down. We had one single rehearsal before we performed. He had never done the show with us. That's how good of an improviser and a musician that Tarik is. And then he just did the rest of the shows, and we're like, how is this happening?
That's only half the number of rehearsals we had for Broadway. Yeah.
Tarik, by the way,
I would just like to add, it was very easy for me because
I fell during that show off of a table.
Someone actually saw you in that.
I fell off of a table during that show too.
Well, maybe it wasn't that performance. Tarik, back to your brilliance. So hold on, you had a rehearsal and then you were on stage at Kennedy Center?
I was on stage at Kennedy Center. I will say it's a huge testament goes to Anthony, Jelly, Shock, the team that runs FLS. They made me feel welcome. I've been doing this 20 years, and this was the first time I was like, oh, this is what a tribe feels like. This is what it's like to be home. So they made me feel welcome, and that's why it was able to happen.
I during the documentary, you can see that, and just in general with Freestyle Love Supreme. I mean, I was getting teary-eyed in various places, and part of it was just the sense of community and everyone. The emphasis on love that was there, it was just so evident in every scene. It was emotional in summer of 2020 to be watching it. It had a different, take on it.
Shockwave, were you friends? Did you go to Wesleyan too? Did anyone not go to Wesleyan? Okay, thank you. Shocky, where'd you go?
I went to UMass Amherst.
Oh, so it's kind of close by though, East Coast school. All right.
Yeah.
I went to Rutgers. So not good.
There you go.
I went to Oberlin, which basically is Wesleyan. It's like
totally
the same thing.
Definitely played you in Frisbee.
I was going to say, like, Becky Stack was the big game back then. Okay, so Shock, what happened? How'd you get involved with these peeps?
I've always been doing music since middle school and also improv. So those two things kind of came together, and my love of hip hop and learning what beatboxing was and translating beatboxing into improv, taking suggestions and making up soundscapes on the spot, turning them into a DJ routine. And when I moved to New York, I continued to do that. And I was given the name Shockwave after one of the Transformers, actually incorrectly named because Soundwave is the one that makes the music. Hey, let me just put on my glasses here. I was performing and people recommended Freestyle Love Supreme, and I went to go check them out at the People's Improv Theater. And I think I saw maybe saw Arthur's first performance in like Bill was running around the stage with like a tall boy in his hand playing saxophone. And afterwards, I was so impressed that the way that they used freestyle with storytelling and character embodiment, that I was like, this is everything that I want to do all together. So I met Anthony after the show, and we started doing these little rehearsals. And then next thing you know, we're at Ars Nova.
I love Ars Nova.
I love Ars Nova.
I just love that it just began as something really fun. It was just so pure.
Organic.
Yeah, it was not like, we're going to have a Broadway show in an academy. It was just like, we have fun doing this. And it just kept building and building. It was like looking at like Leonard Bernstein and Compton and Green, just like these young creative people that just keep building things. Oh, we got donations, but of course... Oh, there it is. I'm going to send right now.
Oh, hold on, though.
Yes,
I think before we have our medical break, I hear a rumor that we're going to have not one, but not two, but three performances.
Are we one of those talk shows where we pretend we don't know that we're
Absolutely. I am, because
that's so, Mormon. Why are you in the audience?
That's right. Okay. But who do we have? Who's in the first group here? Anthony, Aneesa, and Chris, right? So
it's improv, right?
Yeah. So what's the best way? Tell us what to do here with the comments and to make this as interactive with our audience as possible.
Yeah, why don't we ask for suggestions from them? Maybe a word that is meaningful to them during COVID, something that like is getting them through, or I don't know, something like that. And then you just throw, so Aneesa and I will do like a little cipher, and Aneesa will take like 4 words, just throw her a word like every 2 or 4 bars, and then I'll do the same, and we'll do it over beat by Shockwave. And Shockwave, maybe you should get a word too to inform your beat.
And sure. And then also just sound wise, if I'm too loud, just do this. Or if I need to be louder, do that.
Okay, so Seth, you'll be in charge of that. There's so many suggestions already. So Seth, you're going to be in charge of telling him how the sound is, and I'm going to do this.
But I want to make sure you can see it if it goes.
So I'm going to do. We're not starting yet. This is just. I'll do this one just because it's fun. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Again, how do you know how often to do the word change?
You tell me. What should I do?
How often?
I mean, if you're able to keep track at home, 4 bars to start, and then 2 bars after that.
Okay,
correct.
Seth Rudetsky, you'll
Shockwave.
I'll take that first thing then, huh? The emoji or that one? Wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to do a thing. How come I have to go?
Okay, give us the first word for Aneesa to start.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Everybody get to class. No, stay ass at home. Yeah, put on a mask. Stop playing around. We're still in quarantine. And here with Freestyle, Love Supreme. Yeah, I'm an astronaut, first goal on space. What you gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna rest my case. Yeah, flying. Yeah, take me to the moon. Fly really fast. Get to see Doom. It's Bedazzler. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Frazzler. Coming in quick. I am the Razzler Dallaser. Yeah, it's like out Chicago. What you gonna do? Yeah, I do it. Though. Okay, yeah, it's that banana bread. Yeah, I'm gonna eat it up until I am real dead. Yeah, I like to make it here in quarantine. Got that ramen, and I keep it real clean. Self-steam. I put it in the water and I boil it. I pass it up to Anthony, and he's gonna spoil it.
Gonna spoil it like a recreational medicine. Yeah, thank you for the cannabis. Put it in ketamine. Okay, better than spaghetti on rhyming like a metamine. Okay, thank you for the amphetamine. Did you need to put on some more Argyle? Or maybe we could just do it meanwhile. Climbing to the top of the Everest. Your Sherpa. Call me Technorgay. Anyway, looking for another alligator later. Be hated but never stayed a waiter. Oh my god, we're gonna be an instigated potato, banana, potato, potatoes. I'll end it right here like an Emmentaler. Cheese on the top end, cheese on the baller. Thank you, Shockwave, for your wine with the holla.
Stars in the house.
Guys, that was great.
Oh my gosh.
So for those of you that don't know, they got here an hour early. They rehearsed all those words.
Oh my god!
And that's the final version. You're mean. All right, guys, we'll see you in 5 minutes. We have our
But
medical.
you're gonna send the.
I already sent. Oh, Jellybean, why don't you read the donations? I just sent them to you.
And then we'll go to the medical break.
I think I sent them to you. Check your. Well, make sure you're fully muted so we can't hear you.
8675309.
I don't see. You're texting me. I haven't received
your
it
message
yet.
couldn't go through. I think I was in a panic writing down your phone number. Hold on. I'm gonna in a second.
yeah.
Okay, so hold on.
That happens to me too, and I write down Jelly's phone number.
Okay.
This is the Jelly Bean donation report coming at you live. I get Jelly Roll quite a bit.
I was trying to send it to the 8675309 number.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was Casey Kasem who answered. Okay.
oh wait.
67539.
Okay, I have the update. Meg from Georgia, $15. Thank you so much. Danielle from New York, thank you so much. Proud FLSA alum. That's our academy that you happen to help Actors Fund. Cheryl, I love FLS. They are all geniuses. So kind. Thank you. Nora from New York, thank you all for sharing your talent. Tell in. I said, what's up? And Stephanie from Indiana came from Indiana to see you guys in New York City in January. You're the best. You're the best. Thank you so much for those donations.
Yay!
Appreciate it.
All right, everyone, take a break. We're gonna bring on Dr. Lapook. We'll see you in 5 or so.
Yes,
All right, see you in a little
sirs
bit.
and ma'ams.
All right.
67539.
All right, and with that, we will bring on Dr. John Lapook. How about that for a segue?
I would love to know neurophysiologically what is going on in their brains when they're doing that. That is a miracle.
Yeah, so difficult, man. Okay, so what is the latest? I feel like nothing has really changed except for that amazing plasma. Like, is there any actual updates on that?
Yeah, thank you for liking or retweeting. You did something for the piece that was on CBS this morning. Yeah, so there are lots of really interesting stuff going on. The vaccine studies are advancing. They're in phase 3. They're looking good. Until we get there, we need a stopgap. You know, what do we do until we get that vaccine? That could be the end of the year or January or February. It could take a few months to roll out after that. So they're taking these antibodies that are called monoclonal antibodies, and they're made in a lab. And they're directed specifically against that part of the coronavirus that allows it to attack human cells. And they started a trial of that. So that's really exciting. We'll see. It's probably going to take a month or two before we know if that's working, but it makes sense that it should work.
So it's different from a vaccine. That's if you have coronavirus, this can actually help cure you.
Yes. So that's the hope. So a vaccine, it's actually not at all a vaccine. It's actually giving you the antibodies that your immune system could have made if we're exposed to the virus. And they're trying it for people who have been exposed but not yet sick. They're trying it for people who are a little bit sick. They have mild to moderate disease. And then they're trying it for people who are quite sick and are hospitalized. They're doing it in a controlled fashion, placebo controlled. That means you give some people the medicine and some people get saline, or it's no medicine. And that's the way you do a study. You don't just give it to everybody and then how do you know whether it's working or not?
On a separate note, I don't know if you heard, but we are not going to be here tomorrow and Friday because we're going to be making our first venture out of our area.
Remember, to do the interviews, we asked you how we could do them. You were like 10 feet apart. We're like, it's all good. We're going to do it.
So we're going to do it. Now we're being super, super, super cautious because Seth's going to be doing the red carpet and we're going to have it on Stars in the House at 5:30 Eastern on Friday. But like we're doing the masks. I think they have plexiglass on hand in case we want to use that. I
10
said
feet apart.
We're 2 and 10 feet apart. It's outside.
Outside's a lot safer than inside.
So we're doing that. I mean, everything there that they're doing is outside. But my mom actually had a question, and that is, those shields that we're seeing people use? How much of the, do you have, Julie was saying this, the mask over, because we're going to be out a lot. Like this is going to be the most that we have been outside of our house for 48 hours, all three of us. Is it, if you have that, what is that called? That shield?
Face shield.
The face shield. Julie was saying you can have the mask on, but not over your nose.
If you have the face,
if you have the face, like what is the deal with that? And eating, we eat out, we won't go inside. But
the thing about the shield is, so any mucous membrane, mouth, nose, eyes, is a potential portal of entry for the virus. I think you don't want to use you want to use the shield basically for your eyes. I think you still want to you can have a better fit with the mask to protect your nose and your mouth, especially with the N95 if you're going to be wearing that. We can talk later about which mask. But
for the shield though, that's really instead of wearing
your eyes instead of goggles, because you're really unlucky. Now this gets to this whole issue of aerosols, which we've been talking about for how long? For a couple of months now here. Right. Now it's just getting into the news, but I'll give our viewers a little scoop, which is that tomorrow afternoon I'm going to be on a phone call with aerosol scientist and Tony Fauci, Dr. Anthony Fauci. And they're going to be discussing the science behind the aerosols. So he's already bringing it to the task force. And it's going to be to give him a little bit more background. You know, these aerosol scientists are amazing. That's what they do for a living. They've been studying aerosols for 10, 20, 30 years. And there's a lot of science there. You know, you can't keep up on everything. So bravo, of course, to Tony Fauci for having an open mind and saying, yeah, you know what? Teach me. Bring me the latest. And then he'll hear it, digest it, and of course then try to present it to the task force. And he's already brought it up, he said, with the task force. So stay tuned. We may be hearing in the near future about some change in guidelines, perhaps, to take into account the fact that if you're indoors with poor ventilation, 6 feet may not be enough.
Because it's around
in terms of, you know, they're saying you wear a mask if you're within 6 feet. There's a lot of science out there that says indoor poor ventilation, 6 feet isn't enough. So stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Hey, Dr. Lapook, don't go anywhere because I'm bringing on another scientist, a scientist of improv. Anthony, apparently, everyone keeps telling me Anthony knows about brain neurology. I majored in neuroscience.
Oh, brother.
No, piano I majored in. But Anthony apparently knows this. Anthony, what do you know? Everyone's telling me that you know about what Dr. Lapook is asking.
Yeah, let's hear.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. What a nice to meet you. And thank you so much for being such an insightful voice during all this time. My goodness, we need as many of you as possible. So thank you, Dr. Lapook. You're amazing.
Oh.
So I'm lucky enough to get to work with Dr. Charles Lim out of the UCSF lab. He's the head of otolaryngology, but he also does a lot of neuroscience in the Sadler Neurosciences Center. My company, Speechless, has been doing research on what's happening in improvisers' minds while they're doing improv. And it mostly has to do with the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is sort of your judging brain. It's usually that sort of part of your brain that's like, hey, you can't do this thing. And then this other part of your brain, which is the medial lateral prefrontal cortex, it's a little bit further forward off to the side. That's your state of flow. That's like, oh my gosh, I just did a thing and time disappeared. I was just so in it. So it's a bit of a push-pull between those two because there's a lot of like planning and effortful and eventful planning that you have to do when you're trying to get to the end of a measure. And so that's you kind of setting up a rhyme, but then you want to get into your flow state so that you're a little bit more informed by the music, which the cerebellum is also having a really interesting time around the music of it all as well. So those are some of the various things that are going on in a verse.
Oh my gosh. So you guys have to connect us. I want to talk more about this. I'm super interested in this because I followed a couple with she had Alzheimer's, and her husband who was a retired Staten Island cop, stayed with her. You know, I followed them for 10 years for a 60 Minutes piece. And at the end, she was kind of, you know, slumped over like this. She couldn't respond. It's exactly what you would expect would happen, except when we played a playlist from when she was in her 20s or 30s, and she opens up her eyes and she starts singing the song.
Yeah.
So
there's so many things here, right? The brain is Pandora's box, and how these different areas are working and what's being affected, and sort of like the emotional epicenter, and like, you know, these different things that music really tap into, which is I think why all of us love doing what we do, right? There's something about it that lights us up synaptically inside of these different neural connections, and like those are deep rooted. Those are those are really etched preferred pathways when they're attached to some of the emotion, these different parts of our brain. And then sort of the linguistic center, which is a little bit more in the prefrontal cortex, that's a little bit more about the activation of the flow.
I love that. And they say that with Alzheimer's, the reason why it's still there, you can't kill music because it's stored in so many different places. And some people think that it was the first language. And so it's just, you can't kill it. It's, it's there.
And I don't know what camp you're in on plaques or tangles in terms of like what's slowing down and leading to some of the Alzheimer's. I love these blood test things that are happening now with early indications for Alzheimer's. We have so much to talk about.
Okay, before Dr. Lapook leaves, Anthony, I think you would probably agree with this from a comment. I'd love to see Dr. Lapook and or Dr. Fauci be featured improv guests with FLS. That would be a show. I agree.
Oh my gosh.
I'll try to get him on. But medicine is improv. So I really, I so admire what you guys do.
Oh my gosh, thank you. And we so admire what you do as well. So.
All right. Well, that's fascinating. We're going to talk.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dr. Lapook, have a good night.
Dr. Lapook.
Okay, that was great.
I love that. That was so unexpected.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
Like, who knew? I thought everyone was joking. Like, Anthony knows the answer. Like, he does.
Yes, he does. All right.
No, I don't. That's not an answer. Those are, we're studying deoxygenated hemoglobin as it leaves certain parts of the brain. So those are our best guesses. Like none of this is sure, right? So anything that's happening in the brain, again, like it's Pandora's box. You can make your best guesses and you can do modeling, especially with a lot of the 3D, things that they have going now in these fMRI machines and EEGs, but still that we're making guesses.
Amazing.
I did light modeling when I was younger, but that's another whole thing. Okay, let's bring
let's bring everyone back on.
Paid the rent.
Arthur,
Andrew,
Aneesa, and Kaila. Are we all back? Oh, and Tarik. There we go. Last one. Yes, we're all back.
Okay, so basically everyone looks amazing in the documentary and brilliant. But does anybody have like a massive failure that we want to talk about where it was like either the rhyme was like really offensive or like someone started crying? I don't know, like did someone's pants fall off? I know that Lynn's dropping his pants in the documentary. Give me some dish. I was shocked. I don't buy it. Go.
It's kind of we celebrate mistakes. So if even the times that we, if we can't find a rhyme or you just shut down completely, our friends have our back all the time. Like we say that before we go out every night, got your back. And that becomes like a funny inside joke and then a joke that becomes public to everyone in the audience as well. I remember I was playing a baby one time on Broadway and Chris Jackson was my mother, and I was
so motherly.
I was just so kind of into the moment that he came up to me, and I just reached over and I like suckled on it. I like bit his nipple really hard and didn't even mean to, and it was like it shocked him, and then it shocked me because I was like, why is this happening? But then between him and I, it became like this funny running gag for the rest of the bit. The rest of the song.
You were committed. I love that.
I was so expecting milk at that moment.
Oh man!
I was in it. I was in that. I was that medial prefrontal cortex.
They're cutting you off.
Yeah.
We should talk about the Academy.
I want to talk about that.
One of the things I forgot to say at the very beginning of the show, because I know we have new people watching, is the stimulus bill, and that is, it hasn't been passed yet. The first one had the performing arts in it. It helped keep a lot of academies open because I do want to get into talking about the academy. And
this
so
new stimulus bill
doesn't have it right now. And so if everyone goes to starsinthehouse.com, you'll see Action Alert right there. We're connected with the Americans for the Arts and Theater Communications Group. That's right down there. It's so super easy to get a hold of your representative in Congress, your senator, and tell them that the arts have to be in it. That said, who wants to talk about the Academy? Because it's pretty darn amazing.
I'll talk about the Academy.
Yeah, good.
It's pretty darn amazing. The Academy is kind of, I like to think it was like the fuel for a rocket, We have been blessed with an amazing group of participants who then form a community. And I like to say, similar to my experience, also, aside, I feel like everything I'm saying is like uber sincere, and everybody's being really funny, and I feel like there's like black organ music playing behind me, and that's not who I am. I just want to know that. But back to sincerity. Truly though, deep, like the ethos that FLS brought to the stage that I was able to witness firsthand when I like came in as the new guy, it makes sense because that's the same ethos and technology we try to use when we're teaching or fostering our people in our class participants. We want to make it a safe space. We want to make it an equitable space. We want as many voices as possible from as many different points of view, backgrounds, persuasions, as possible to have a voice. We focus in on the voice that is the least comfortable, and then we amplify that voice, and we mimic that voice. So if you were in a place, especially where we are right now, and we do this in person, and now we've translated this into the cyber world, if you are going through it, we got to talk about that, because that fear is kind of like, this is all what we do is a very scary thing. We are very vulnerable. We are opening up our brains, and we're trying to be here present with you on the spot. And we're asking people to come into a class with strangers that they don't know and then make something happen right on the spot. And that's a little unfair unless we, who seemingly have a position of power, like, hey, this is who I am. This is my story. And these are the bumps along the way that brought me here. And then that gives, I think, and what I've seen, permission for others to be like, oh, this isn't magic or mystical, and you guys aren't lording any power over it. This is just people getting together having a good time. Play that music.
Which allows people to flourish.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look at this comment. I love this comment here. Oh, hold on. Well, that's true, too. I've never seen a comment like that. This is the comment I made.
Lynn is the best.
I know. No, that's not what I love FLS. They did a workshop for arts teachers in Tucson a couple of summers ago. They rock.
Oh, we had so much fun there. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
I was just thinking to myself as you were talking, I was like, it's almost like what you're teaching, it's really psychological. You're not really being like, oh, make sure you rhyme an eval with an eval. It's really about kind of opening your mind and allowing yourself not to judge yourself and just let things flow out. Like you're kind of just calming people down to allow them to be creative.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, for us, rhyming is really the cherry on the top that sometimes happens. And it's not nearly as important as creating a supportive environment where people can share their stories. And, you know, we've heard from a number of participants that the Academy has really been helping them get through this time, this difficult time. Same for us, 100%. You know, it's just like connecting with people. We've learned so much from our community. When Black Lives Matter was fueling and ramping up, we did a session with kids that just blew my mind. They taught me so much about how to look for a more equitable future, and they were doing it in song with each other and having each other's back. It like was the one moment in the past few months where I'm like, this is the most hope I've had for a long time. So it's, you know, it's a beautiful thing if you get a chance to check it out. We have stuff for adults and kids.
So wait a minute, had the Academy ever done virtual classes before all this?
No, this was the catalyst. We just were like, oh, we've got to, you know, we have these amazing community members who took live classes. So we're like, okay, let's do a recess twice a week so that we can all play together, you know, and it started there. And then we're like, well, this is going to be, we don't know how long this will be. So let's pull our class, you know, change our classes and pull that online and see if that works. And it totally works, because even if you're not in the same space, you're looking at someone's face from wherever they are and kind of having their back, which I think people need more than ever right now, is love and support, you know.
Well, you must be getting students from places that you wouldn't normally get them, I would think, right? Like, what are like some of, have people been taking classes from other countries?
Like from China, like Maine?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
We've got Scotland, we've had Australia, we've had
Chile.
Peru.
Chile?
Chile.
Wow.
Peru, yeah.
That's amazing. So for our SiriusXM listeners, freestylelovesupreme.com/academy is where you go for classes.
And it's so cool. Now that you're mentioning these countries, I was just thinking, it must be so hard to rhyme in a separate language. You can start these academies in other countries in totally different languages too. How cool would that be? Have you thought about that?
A little bit. We've taught kids in the past, and I remember teaching a group of kids from Japan, and hearing them rap in Japanese like blew all of our minds, and all the kids from the States who were listening were like, wow, that's amazing. So yes, we would love to continue to expand.
Amazing.
By the way, the reason I keep literally leaving frame is our dog has all these allergies, and she's on a full rampage on her front lawn tonight. And I'm so nervous she's gonna tear off a nail. So I keep trying to give her peanut butter and play with her, but that's why I keep walking away.
He's like under his breath, I'm gonna go get her a Benadryl.
Just give her Benadryl.
Not so she'll sleep, but because she's really
allergic.
She's really allergic.
It's so stressful.
She's always under the table, and we can literally with our feet feel her biting herself, and it's just like, tonight for whatever reason tonight's really bad. But
Angel,
so
second song.
Let's say song number two.
Let's do another one. Yeah.
All right. Comment. So viewers, start bringing.
Do you want this? Well, before we do it, maybe we do a slightly different format for this one, because we just did sort of a cipher on the last one.
Go.
What if we get stuff that's like really bothering people, like stuff that that people are just like super annoyed by, so a pet peeve kind of a thing, and then we can maybe do like a modified version of pet peeves.
All right, so viewers, pet peeves.
Right. And so Kaila will be doing the beat. Tarik and Jelly, you want to go first? Tarik, you want to go second?
Sounds great.
Sure.
All right, stuff that's really bothering you. Not puppy.
I know.
Oh.
Wait, this is my pet peeve. Not really.
It doesn't taste good.
I didn't write it.
All right, let's do it.
Funny.
All right, people. Let's hit the comments. Yep, there. Okay.
Okay. Wow. Here we go. Okay, it's Freestyle Love Supreme. It's not that complex. I'm just opening my medial prefrontal cortex to rhyme a little bit. I gotta say, guy, I'm sad that George Washington's breast is dry. You're not gonna get enough lactose out of that. No, my friend, it's true. That's not enough milk or cheese for you and you and you. Seriously, can I get some milk? Can we do this? It's making me angry, like when you found out Arthur isn't Jewish. That was true. That's right. Oh, my friend. I'm not sure exactly where to go and where to end. If Chris is watching this, please turn it off, especially your kids. This is the problem with this thing we call the improv biz. Seriously, and love to all of you in the academy. The rhyming is sick. Like a dog with allergies. Better get that peanut butter. And we love each other. And I don't care if you got dust or not. We together forever. It's clever. Now I'm gonna pass the mic to my man. Okay, it's hardest hard away. Rhyme the best you can.
All right, I'll rhyme to the best of my ability, but it's hard. I'm hot, man. Yo, too much humidity. I don't know how to do this. I'm not smooth like Billy D. Oh, come on, man. Yo, this he is killing me. I'm trying to just come through, but man, yo, these Twitter trolls, they coming through, and man, you're coming through all in throws, and man, they saying this, they saying imagine that. Yo, get out of this, man, and wear a mask. How about that? Why can't you wear a mask? And what kind of bullshit? I'm trying to get out of here, but you coming with full all in my face. Get out of my space. I'm trying to just get out of here, man. You weird disgrace. What are you doing? You're passing the cover with your spit. You get out of here, man, or smack out of you. I'm trying not to curse. I'm a good Christian man. Sometimes, man, I don't understand what's going on in this world. Pandemic, you can't let him go to school. You got a guy in office, he's a damn fool. Where your kids going? Where you gonna send them? Best believe, yo, they staying right at home. What's going on? I'm trying to ask, what's going down? I'm trying to blast. This shit, man, just can't last on a mat.
Love it.
Kaila Mullady on the beat.
Kaila Mullady.
Got it.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
So I know you guys had some guest stars on the Broadway. Who was who were some of the amazing ones? I know the only reason I'm saying that is I don't know Wayne did it. I can't remember who else did it, but who else did it and how much fun did they have? And did they wear Depends? Were they literally peeing in their pants? Go.
Sir Ian McKellen and
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren.
Wait, which one did the beatboxing, Sir Ian or Helen?
Both of them. They took me in Shock's place.
It was very fun.
Oh, with the quick frame. Dang.
Quickness.
There they are. You look nervous, Anthony.
Anthony needed.
I was nervous.
Depends.
Yeah, I mean, earlier in that show, so we interviewed them, and then we kind of did a little like a fun thing where it was Team Helen and Team Ian, Team McKellen versus Team Helen. And they just told some of these great fun stories. And Ian talked about how he didn't get to meet David Bowie, even though David Bowie would cross behind so from the Broadhurst to the booth, he would like sneak out so that he could exit stage door from the booth instead of the Broadhurst. And so Ian would see this sort of like rippling happen. And he was like, I was that close to David Bowie and I never met him. And so I got to come on as the ghost of David Bowie and give him a blowy. And I thought I was just unbelievably happy that I got to do that with and for Sir Ian McKellen on this great Broadway.
It's therapeutic, really.
It went from breast milk. Oh, anyway, very interesting. Okay.
I sat on his lap as like the ghost of David Bowie during this incredible sketch that everyone else is doing, and I'm kind of like off to the side, and you hear like a David Bowie voice, and then I come out and like and you see Ian and Helen out in the audience too as we're doing this, and there's like, oh my god! And I was like downstairs, like, I didn't know I'm standing between these two icons, and I'm like, I think I offended both of them.
Not at all.
They loved it. They did.
He's not giving me
one time.
Contact, but Helen Mirren's got a brave face on.
There's no eye contact at all, but it's lovely. So Arthur, your voice is pretty in the documentary. Do you always wind up singing in the shows, or do you go back and forth between piano and singing? What's the dealio?
I mostly play piano. I come out in the middle and I sing, and then I sneak back to the piano again.
And
that's the way I roll.
With the pretty
Arthur's our secret weapon.
Yeah,
I know. And what about? Do you ever want to do any musicals? You're such a pretty voice. You're like, no, man, that's not cool.
Oh, like acting
No, man,
and
that's
things.
not cool.
Yes, like
No.
Seussical. No.
No.
I don't know why that was the option.
Straight to Seussical? Who would he be in Seussical?
I don't know.
Sour Kangaroo?
Yeah, the Sour Kangaroo.
Yeah.
And Shockwave in the movie, at one point you were like, I got to speak. Do you never like do like actual? Do you only do beatbox during the shows? Do you ever get to do any? Wait, I was giving you an or, and you answering. He doesn't.
He doesn't talk at all.
I don't get to talk. I don't let me talk.
Well,
No, I'm most comfortable as the drummer, as the backbeat, to help hold these folks up rather than let my words be spoken. Nobody wants to hear my rhymes. But before every show, we do have a warming up point that we do in the green room where everybody, including myself, Arthur, Bill, and everybody else, like Kurt and Ian, all the other keyboard players who have come and joined us, people who don't usually rhyme, all get an opportunity to rhyme as well. We use generally the words that have not been used in prior shows. We pull them out of a bucket and pass it around. It's fun.
And it's like the most delightful thing in the world for us to hear Shockwave and Arthur, who rarely rhyme. We're just like, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about Seussical.
I have a question for Arthur, because I know at one point, like when we first doing that, look, we all change and things happen and people grow, and it's crazy that we still get to do this together. But I do remember, Arthur, you being like, no, I'm not going to do any of that rhyming, even during warm-ups beforehand. But then at some point, like, you're like, I'm going to give it a shot. And then I think you started to enjoy it. So what helped you to kind of like make that transition? I've always wanted to ask you.
I think just time, just familiarity. No, familiarity and permission. I think there was, so the way I think it didn't used to be that everyone was part of the warm-up. And then one day we were at a conference in South Africa, and we were warming up backstage, and it was me, Anthony, Jelly, and Shockwave, I think.
And Utkarsh?
Utkarsh. Yeah.
And they were kind of the rappers were kind of throwing couplets back and forth, and Jelly just pointed at me, and I was like, okay, and it was so like high wire for me,
It was
and
awesome.
it was so exciting, and like just stuff poured out of my mouth, and I was like, I want to do that again.
Yeah.
But only in rehearsal, never in front of people.
It was so good.
I started doing it in rehearsal, and then other people started jumping in and doing it in rehearsal, and then it became like everybody does it.
Yeah, once you're not afraid of the need to rhyme, and you're just going forward and you're following your own story, and you're not trying to be somebody that you're not, it becomes a lot easier. And when you have a bunch of people who laugh when you make a mistake, but they laugh with you and it's not at you, like you did the wrong thing, then you really can't fail. And then it gives you that power to be able to do anything, really.
Also, Kaila is a rapper. Her rhymes are amazing.
Kaila might be the
can do all of it.
best rapper out of all of us. Like she does the backstage.
Kayla's the best at everything in this show.
We had the kids table, which was probably the most fun. We had to do a show where it was just like it was me, Aneesa, James, and Jelly, and so we just called it the kids table, and we were all on the third floor. So we would do a pre-warm up before everyone warmed up, and it was loud as hell. I'm sure everyone else heard it.
10 o'clock show, it gets wild.
All the way to the third
You want to hear some raunchy rhymes?
Oh god!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I did not know when I joined that the circle before the show would be so raunchy.
Gotta get them out.
Get it out. Yeah, you get it out there. So you go on stage, you can be like PG and PG.
Sometimes,
right?
Yeah, they're talking about in the green rooms before the show. But also one thing is Kaila is a pro at beat rhyming, where she can actually beatbox and rap at the same time.
I have a lot
to put
of
you on the spot,
guys.
Kaila, places. Let's hear it.
Me. Activating voice on beatbox. Can you break it down to the rhythm, to the sound floor? Got the hidden beats and you got the hidden pop. And when you break it down to the flow, can we bring the FL, SP, heart and soul? Yeah.
Okay.
I have a lot of time on my hands.
So good.
Actually, so my mentor is how I met Shockwave. My mentor is Kid Lucky, and would you say kind of like you too, Shock? I don't know. You guys did a lot of stuff together, but I remember when I first started performing with Kid, he taught me about like beat rhyming, and we were going to street perform, and we were in the A train 14th Street station, and Shock was getting out of an L train, and Kid was like, "Yo, Shock," and he pointed. He's like, "Shock, this is Kaila. She loves theater. She loves beatboxing. You guys got to do stuff together." Cut to like 8 years later, me eating that salmon sandwich. It really puts it all together. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I met you in between stops while I was on the same train.
Yeah, pretty dope. It's a small world after all. It is a small world after all.
Yeah. That's so brave. Yeah, that's another thing I want you to study, Anthony, is just sort of like the adrenaline level, because like those of us that do regular shows, like, you know, we're nervous on the first preview and on opening night. And after that, it's like, whatevs. You guys have the same panic of opening night every single time you perform. Like, is it good for your body or is it bad for your body?
It depends on the person. So Utkarsh and Lynn usually lose about 10 to 15 pounds during a run of Freestyle Supreme.
Wow.
Because they are fighting with each other as to who gets to use the bathroom last.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have an amygdala reaction to that. They have like a reptilian fear, fight or flight. Like, I'm still going to do it, but it's terrible. And then, you know, some people create these different ways of dealing with the trauma.
It is traumatizing when you're walking into a show with people that have been doing it together for all this time, and then you have a week of rehearsal to do this thing that you've never done.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it, you can't think of anything else. It's not everyone that comes to see the show that was like, "I'm so scared for you." I'm like, yeah, I'm scared for myself. But when I'm doing it, I'm in the zone and I can't think about anything else. I'm listening to everything that's happening on stage.
Right.
So you're just in the moment.
Yeah.
Such great life lessons.
Yes, all life lessons.
gosh.
Everything you guys were saying, man.
Wow.
There's an addiction.
It's no LA law.
Well, it's the New York version. What? Name dropper, Anthony. Okay, Anthony, were you on my? I remember Shock. You were on my Sirius XM show. Anthony, were you there also when we did it? It was all those years ago, man.
No, I wasn't there. It was
Me
James
and Lynn.
Monroe Iglehart. You. Well, there was one that James was a part of as well, right? Was that
Yeah.
the one with Lynn
Twice.
Yeah.
I was there
Yeah,
too.
twice.
Arthur, you were there.
and Arthur?
You called me Jewish then too. But I
When were you admitted?
That's a big callback.
Of course you did,
Oh,
Arthur.
my goodness.
That's an 8-year callback right there.
That's amazing.
Good.
You gotta come clean. I mean, I'm not Jewish, but I thought you were.
Before we go, do you wanna haul out one more?
Yes, please.
We would love it. If you're up for it.
Yeah, let's just do an all play trading twos. What do you say? And then Arthur, I don't want
I'll take
to
it too.
presuppose.
Why not?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You wanna
How do we know
write
who's gonna
you wanna write the order in the chat or
No, not really. Just
all right,
set up
pass
the
it.
person that you're passing it to. Just tell
Yeah.
them that you're going to them.
Yeah. And
Wait,
Kayla, why
and
don't
then-
you
and-
and I switch off underneath each person?
Every
So I'll
two?
get a person, you get a person, you get a person. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Twister.
We'll just need one word. We just need one suggestion from the
Okay.
feed.
Comments, just one suggestion from the feed.
GG.
Oh, Gigi! Happy birthday also to Gigi's partner, by the way. All right, Niece, you want to go first with coffee?
All right, yeah, I gotta get my caffeine. Sitting here with Freestyle Love Supreme. I got the coffee. Get up off me. About to pass it to Arthur, and he's drinking lots of coffee.
She passed it to me, but I don't drink coffee. It's not sweet enough. I don't like it like toffee. Uh-oh, I think we're doing fours because we gotta say the name. So I'm gonna pass it to Jelly. He'll do the same.
Yeah, I'll do the same exactly. We're synonymous. I grab the mic. Yeah, my rhymes are bottomless. We trade in fours, and if you want some more, Tarik Davis, I'll tell you exactly what it's for.
I heard my name, but I didn't hear the word. So I'ma just try to be free like a bird, never potato. Oh, I forgot what I'm doing. I'm going to spit my motto to Anthony.
Oh, to me, don't want to be too late. Hope that I could bubble up, maybe percolate. Just what we do, because yeah, I am crazy. Pass it off to the one and only Kaila, my lady.
Oh, Snappy, pass it to me. And look, we got 8 people on this little TV. Oh my gosh. I can see everyone's faces, even though I'm in Connecticut in this strange place. Back to Shock.
Oh shit, it's my turn. I swear. Oh no. I'm in my underwear. It's like Zoom, but it's different. It's like, hey, I'm out of time. Look at me, I can't run. Aneesa.
I want to pass it to Seth.
Ooh, let's go.
I love coffee. I don't like it small. I use the pretentious Starbucks word tall.
Yeah.
Also,
Sorry,
I know I'm in a panic, so I'll pass it to Lisa. Take it, sister. That doesn't rhyme. Off my effing back. It's my show. Cut me some slack.
Yeah.
I heard Tarik is black. Was that last one?
I think he said Arthur is Jewish.
No, that's what I heard.
Seth is going to be a special
Oh,
guest.
what a fun show. Before our dog now is barking, because that's the day that it is. Okay, everyone, freestylelovesupreme.com/academy. Check out the great documentary that's on Hulu. This was so much
Guys, that was fun.
Thanks
You
for
guys
having us.
Yoda!
Yoda?
Yoda.
That's
Yoda.
Oh,
Yoda.
Giving kisses.
Aw.
All right. Well, we want you guys back. You're so much
Lucy.
fun, so creative. Okay, and this is gonna be going on for a while. This show. So
That's right.
please God come back.
All right. Who wants to? Whatever. Oh, so tomorrow is Forbidden Broadway. Christine Petty and Brenda Braxton will be here guest hosting on Friday, and we'll be back here on Saturday.
I don't even know who's booked yet. Anyway, we'll find out.
We'll figure it out. Okay.
We're gonna do the closing credits. We don't have any actual music, so
So,
we expect
hit
some
it.
sassy beatboxing.
Executive producers Blake Ross, Seth Radusky, March James, okay. Changing the game with the creative content, Brittany Serrano. Don't forget the graphic designers by Eric. All right, hair and makeup, Julie Wesley. Thank you so much, you never stress me. Company manager, chairman of the board, Brian Stokes Mitchell. Oh, situation's getting hot. Spot code, special thanks for what you got. Co-founder Tom Greenwald, I love your books. All right, Nancy Berman, help me give me another look. Thanks to the stars of the house for all that you shook.